I just got off my 7-night comped cruise aboard Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas, but how much did this free cruise really cost? Let's go over it now. All right, so I'm back home after my 7-night cruise aboard the beautiful Grandeur of the Seas out of Tampa. We went to Nassau, Bimini, Coco Cay, and Key West, which was a lot of fun. I'm gonna have some upcoming videos with a little bit more detail on that. This cruise was a friend's cruise. I had 5 other people with me, so that kind of affected my habits in the casino. Everybody on the cruise was a gambler, so we did spend a lot of time in the casino. This is my 3rd time aboard Grandeur of the Seas. I've grown to love this ship, and I do have breakdown videos of my first 2 experiences on Grandeur, including every penny I spent on all of those, what slots I recommend you play and avoid if you're trying to save money while earning comps, and my overall casino experience as well. So those videos will be coming up in this series as well. If you want to make sure you know when those videos come out, make sure you're subscribed and click the notification bell so you know when they come out. There were a lot of new slot machines on Grandeur since the last time I sailed her, so that slots that I recommend you play and avoid is going to be brand new and packed with a bunch of games that I've never seen before, so that'll be a lot of fun. But it's time to get on to the business, which is every penny that I spent to go on this 7-night comped cruise. I always say, these comps they give you, free fare for people, free play, they're great, but they are not free. There are a lot of incidental costs that come along with it, costs just to get on the ship, add-ons you might want to do or you need to do. So let's review exactly what I spent. All right, as always, we start with before I get on the ship, so that's pre-cruise. The port fees and taxes were $161.32 for this sailing. My internet was $125.93. My daily gratuities were $129.50. I did go on Hideaway Bay. We all wanted to go, and there was a huge sale. It was like half off the day pass. So I did pay for that in advance. That was $37.38. It's really important to keep your eyes out on the Royal Caribbean website when you have cruises booked to see these sales, because as we're getting into more of an issue with more open inventory, they're trying to attract people on ships and get them to spend more. They're really starting to cut some of these extras, especially for instance on days at Coco Cay. It was us, Grandeur, the smallest ship in the fleet, and Freedom of the Seas, which is a middle-sized ship. So when you think of the total amount of people on the island, it was a lot less. So they definitely were cutting a lot of the add-ons for Coco Cay. And actually, when we were in Hideaway Bay, it was pretty quiet. We had our pick of the litter of chairs. The pool wasn't too busy. It was just a great time. And the total before I got on the ship was $454.13. So getting to the ship. So luckily I live in Tampa, so I was really close to the port. So that meant my gas and tolls were $20 both ways. So parking, I park in the covered parking garage at the port just for convenience. You can find much cheaper parking. You can pay less than half of what I did. I paid $119. If you're looking for off-site parking with the garage, just let me know in the comments and I'll make sure I find out from Jess, because she parks there regularly. Total for getting to the port and back, $139. Onboard. Gambling. So the good news is I didn't go over my budget. The bad news is I didn't really win anything. So I did spend to my budget, which was $100 a day or $700 total. My folio balance, so that's any incidentals. So, tips on bills, room service, extra coffees, anything like that. I spent $62.40. Cash tips, I always bring singles with me. The crew really appreciates $1 or $2, especially if you're getting prime drinks or diamond drinks. Those are zero total drinks. They're not like the drink package. With the drink package, every time you order one of those, it gets charged in the back end as a regular rate with the 18% gratuity added on the back, and the staff gets that. But when you're using a Prime drink or you're using one of your Diamond or Pinnacle drinks, there is no charge to those and there's no gratuity added on the back end. So I always throw them a couple of dollars to show appreciation. My cash tips were $100. Total on board, $862.40. All right, so what's the total of what I spent on this 7-night sailing? Pre-cruise, I spent $454.13. For travel, $139. On board, $862.14. And the grand total was $1,455.27. Now, you look at that and you think, well, that's not a free cruise. And absolutely, it is not a free cruise. As a matter of fact, it cost me $207.89 per day on this sailing. A couple of things I want to mention though. First of all, that's more than I normally spend. I was with friends. I was a little bit more liberal. I got some room service. You know, maybe if I was by myself, I might not have gambled as much because I did okay on some nights in the casino and I earned a fair amount of points I was happy with, but I played a little bit more than I normally would just because I was around all my friends. You'll see a breakdown of exactly how I did in the casino in an upcoming video. Also, for $200 all inclusive, I got to do a lot of extra stuff that included my gambling and entertainment. That's not a bad number, especially when you think hotels are more than that on land. So if you're going on a land-based vacation, you're gonna spend maybe $150 a day on a hotel. That's not going to include your food or your activities or anything like that. So I think it's still a good value. As I've always said, I do want to get down to about $100 a day, especially if I'm cruising a lot. I have 7 more cruises booked through March. And, you know, I'm thinking about maybe canceling a couple of these cruises just because I'm trying not to spend too much. And, you know, this was quite a bit more than I really wanted to spend. I mean, it was well worth it. I had a great time though. So that's it. That's what I spent on Grandeur of the Seas on this 7-night comp. Also keep in mind, you know, if I wasn't getting a comp from the casino, I looked at some of the booked prices for this sailing. I would have paid over $2,000 for my cruise. So that would be, you know, more than doubling my per day cost. So I still think this is a really great value. And of course I love cruising. So, you know, what are you going to spend your money on? All right. So coming up over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do my casino breakdown, how I did in the casino, and how many points I earned towards my goal of hitting Prime for 2026. I was at about 650 points, I think, to this point, but I do have I think 3 more cruises booked on Royal Caribbean. So I should do it pretty easily, but we'll see how much closer I got in that video. And then again, like I said, I will do the slots I recommend that you play and the ones I think you should avoid if you're trying to slow roll like me, get marketing offers and get a bunch of comps to sail on Royal Caribbean. Also coming up next month, I am going to be on Carnival Firenze. I haven't been on the Costa Converts yet, and I'm heading over to Hawaii for a friend's birthday. And I thought, hey, why not stop in Los Angeles and do a quick Carnival sailing? So there'll be the whole series that comes out of that, and I can't wait for that as well. Thank you so much for watching.